The views expressed are solely those of the speaker and not necessarily those of Paltalk.com, AVM Software, or its advertisers.
News Talk is online. News Talk Online is a production of Paltalk.com, the largest multimedia interactive program on the internet with more than 4 million unique users on demand on iTunes and on YouTube, and on my blog, GaryBaumgarten.com, where you can post comments, whether you agree with yours truly or not. No retribution, and thanks to our good friends at CRN Digital Talk Radio, we're syndicated to an additional 12 million households. I am your host, Gary Baumgarten. I welcome you to the show. We have a lot to discuss today, and I suggest that you peruse the website, paltalknewsnetwork.com. We've just been very busy bringing you news and commentary, news and views on a lot of very extremely important issues. Breaking news there as well on a couple of big stories, one involving the terrorist attacks in Mumbai, and one involving three Gitmo detainees who died under very suspicious circumstances 6 years ago, and new findings surrounding that case. I don't know how much of this we're going to get to before we get through the show today, because I also want to talk, if we have time, about what's going on in Iran. Before we get to our first story, and that's going to be about the president's ratings here in the United States plummeting, and I want to hear briefly from each of you who are interested in commenting on this, why you believe Obama's ratings have fallen to a new low. Today, Boaz Frankel, we weren't even sure whether you would be here with us. First of all, you went over to Lauren Perkins' house to do a site survey to make sure her internet connection was up and running for Wednesday night at 8 o'clock's Make It Pro TV show here on Paltalk.com in the radio and TV section. Lauren Perkins, ladies and gentlemen, is a young lady who is a professional skateboarder, and she will be my guest on that show at 8 o'clock New York time Wednesday evening. But Boaz Frankel, I understand that the skies are falling there in the Southland of California, and you very nearly didn't make it back because of the weather and how the drivers were reacting to a little bit of rainfall in California where it never rained.
Well, Gary, on my way down to Lauren Perkins, which is about a 45-mile drive, normally takes about probably 45 minutes to get there. Took me an hour and a half because this is what I encountered on the way. I'm on the 405 South. It is raining cats and dogs here in Southern California. And as you can see, this is one of many accidents that is happening right now on the 405 freeway. It has been raining steadily since early morning. And this looks like a pretty nasty accident here. And there are a lot of accidents like this all over the 405 freeway going south down to Huntington Beach. This is Boaz Frankel reporting from Southern California on the rainy weather.
Well, of course, if you were in England, they wouldn't have even blinked at that rainfall. Because it rains all the time there, but in Southern California it rarely rains, and when it does, people act the fool, and there you have it. Thanks for bringing us that video, Boaz Frankel. The Gallup Poll out today shows that Obama's approval rating has fallen to a new low after a slight bump following his national speech during which he pledged an additional 30,000 troops for Afghanistan. President Obama, whose approval rating has recently hovered just below 50%, sees it dropping to a new low of 47% as determined by the Gallup Poll. That story on the Paltalk News Network. Boaz Frankel, your thoughts about why the president's ratings have plummeted?
I think the situation speaks for itself, Gary. Um, the president made several promises, and I'll just bring up two of them. One is the job situation. The president said publicly that we have, in so many words, hit rock bottom, and and the job situation is starting to get better. Well, I don't see that. I still see people losing their houses. People are still out of work. More people losing their jobs, and it's not getting better. Secondly, I think what really hit the president hard uh, is the this whole ordeal in Afghanistan, where I think his hesitation in making a decision to send more troops to Afghanistan. That hesitation, I think, cost him a lot of his popularity. He promised 40,000 troops and ended up to be 30,000 troops. And, and this was a request that was made, I believe 4 to 5 months ago, and it took him this long to make his decision. So I think that cost him a lot of his popularity, Gary.
Alan, do you agree, Alan Jacey, with your colleague from the right on the left coast?
Well, I certainly agree with him on the first part of it, with the jobs issue. I just think that that is, first and foremost the biggest negative that this administration has going for them. Yeah, we had a good October. We went from 10.2, November. We went from 10.2% unemployment to 10% unemployment, and that's just those that are actually in the workplace. They're actively seeking a job. The real unemployment rate is over 17%. And I think that the fact is that there are no new jobs being created. It's just, it hits people's wallets first, and the economy is more important than anything else. It doesn't matter what happens in the rest of the world if it's not happening in your own household. If you can't put food on the table, or you can't afford to pay the rent or to pay your mortgage, and you're going to be thrown out of the place where you live, and I don't think you really care about what's happening in Afghanistan. Politics is local, and right now Obama's approval rating is reflecting the economy. And the other thing is that I think, like many people, I personally am sick and tired of the president, who I still support, but every speech he starts up was that I was left with, by the previous administration, a bad situation. Well, we know it's a bad situation. Now you're the president. Fix it already. Stop blaming Bush. We understand. Stop blaming him. Fix it. It's in your hands now. And that's what we want to see, is we want to see the president fixing things. We do not want to see